All right. Well, thank you for being here. We are on a special episode of Another Day in Paradise.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. So, Reda, thank you for being here. We had a previous
having me
episode.
again.
Oh, well, you're kidding. My pleasure. We had an episode of Another Day in Paradise special Halloween last year. So it's been more than a year that we've been doing podcasts.
It has
And
been.
still
and,
25 fucking views. I don't get it.
well,
I don't get it.
to be fair,
To be fair.
views are going up.
They are. Slightly, you know.
Well, it's not slight.
But-
I know, like, if you count them individually, it's not much, but we have, like, jumps of 10, 15%.
True.
Which
That's
is,
true. Honestly, we are really happy.
Progress.
And little update.
Mm-hmm.
You know the super thanks or the thanks button that I told you about, where people can, YouTube
yeah.
just launched this thing.
We can donate to.
You can just
content
donate
creators.
directly money, etc., etc. As I suspected, it does not apply to us.
Oh, is it just for charities, or you need to have a certain number of views?
It's not. You need a special number, a minimum number of subscribers, like 1,000 subscribers.
We'll get there.
Eventually, we'll see you in the next Halloween.
2028. Here we go.
Buckle up, we're coming.
Well, before we start, you
Yes.
changed something with your hair, right?
Did I? No. What are you talking about? No. I tried a new shampoo.
Okay.
But I love your hair. I love what you did with your hair. You got your hair done. Looks good.
It's all about eating organic.
That's it. Just nuts,
Exactly.
seeds, and going 100% vegan.
And
That's good.
quinoa.
Quinoa. Oh, that's the new thing.
Yep.
Would you be able to go out like this?
Out.
Like right after you need to go to the grocery shop and buy a couple things, to the convenience store and get some things. Would you be able to go like that?
I would, but why? You know, like if you tell me you're gonna, I'm getting something out of it, I'll probably would do.
No,
it.
but
just like that, no.
If you kept a straight face, do you think that people would, like the guy at the convenience store would say something if you kept a straight face? Hey, how you doing? Listen, I want to return this and get this. Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
Not a straight face, but probably I don't think that it would be that.
No, I'm saying if you kept a straight, because of course, if you're smiling, you're inviting him to say, hey, what do you
I
do
think
with your
I
hair?
think he's gonna have a little smirk
Yeah,
on his
he
face,
will.
but
I think.
you know.
You know,
normal.
interesting thing about Halloween. In Morocco, we don't celebrate Halloween so much, but it's been growing little by little. We've been having more and more Halloween, festivities, etc. You can buy it's more for kids, which
Yes.
how it's supposed to be actually, and in the States actually. It's a little bit for kids. Like the first part of the night is for kids. Like they go trick or treat, etc. And then it's the US becomes like a whorehouse.
Well, it's true that like for youngsters, like I would say, like late teens to
Yeah.
20s,
Or even further, yeah.
further. Like it's for a lot of people, it's the right night and the good excuse to kind of like
Whore out.
let the inner.
Inner bitch in you just explode.
He's saying it. I'm not.
Listen, it's a free podcast. We can swear, even though we try to avoid it. Of course, absolutely. So yeah, it's in the States. It's a great. Sorry, I just pushed this away. It's a great opportunity for people, especially women, to let loose a little bit and. Feel a little bit sexy and dress sexy, like ultra sexy, like the way they wouldn't be able to do it. So we lose like the scary part. And even men, like I remember when I lived there, like I was not so much trying to go for a scary look, but I was trying to go for a costume that wouldn't cost me a fortune, because at that time, like the prices jump up
Bro,
like big time.
Like the
big time.
budgets
Yeah.
that
Oh,
go
yeah.
into this
Yeah.
is mind blowing. I've celebrated properly Halloween only once in my life, like
Yeah.
properly in a country that really has, which was in Canada,
Canada,
Montreal.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I remember the rentals for the costumes back then. If I rented the costume like that, other people around me were actually renting. Basically, half my budget for the month went into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no,
Like
it
it's
is
crazy.
very
It's like
pricey.
in hundreds of dollars just to rent out one costume.
Yeah, it's a big business for sure, and then the next day you'll find usually that's a good trick for people who live in the US. They already know for sure, but it's a good way for the next day to buy very cheap candy.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
So very cheap, like the bite size candy. You can find them for like peanuts, literally, and
Then you can buy next year's costume as well.
but nobody does
Yeah, well,
because
they
what are you
should.
gonna do with it? What are you
They
gonna do with
should.
it? You're gonna say you're gonna keep it in your
Man, the same thing that
hair
costs
is like
$200, the next day costs $15.
exactly.
And like, and it's not like we're changing every year. Like,
No.
we still see. I have friends that did Halloween parties this past week.
Mhm.
Everyone's the Joker and still doing
Yeah,
like
well, no, I think it
Pirates of the
changes.
Caribbean. all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but-
like it didn't change that
You know,
much.
that's a perfect segue, man.
Ah, you like what I did there.
It's a perfect
All right.
segue. This year, usually they try to go for like the Joker was a big thing when
Mhm,
Batman was
mhm,
released
mhm.
a few years ago, etc., etc. But this year, the sensation is Dahmer.
Damn.
So
Yeah. Yep.
very cool. I mean, honestly, like I'm
Very
not gonna
cool.
lie. Like I'm not gonna lie. So here's what happened. So Amazon stopped selling Dahmer costume. So I'm trying to wonder.
As well.
eBay,
banned,
yeah, but I'm wondering, like I've seen the series. He doesn't have like it's not like the Joker where you really need to go like full blast like with the makeup etc. Like he just a blonde guy with old like 80s or 70s 80s glasses like the big frame glasses. So
Yeah.
it's not like such a complicated thing to reproduce if you can get your hands on old glasses like maybe your grandparents' glasses or even father's glasses. They would do the trick, and just like a blonde like hair. I don't know. So they banned it
Yeah.
because it wasn't sensitive, right?
There's there's a lot of things going on around that story because not only it's insensitive, but as well there's like a very insane interest going around that story.
serial killers in general. That's crazy.
But him in particular, you know, like we kind of have the same, you know, after the Charles Mansons and all of that. Like there's it's becoming almost a cult.
Yeah.
And I think that's scary.
Well, do you think? Well, anyways, so this one, Dahmer, is a special nutcase because he was also a cannibal. So that rubbed people the wrong way, and there was a lot of things mixed in there. I saw the show. I know you didn't. Honestly, you didn't miss much. I don't think it was like. I don't understand why it was so popular on Netflix. To be honest, I watched it and I was like just out of boredom because whatever, I'll just keep watching it. But there was it's very repetitive. Of course, he's a serial killer, so he keeps killing people.
It's
He's-
kind of the principle.
Yeah, I mean, he's it's like he gets drunk, then he kills people, then he gets drunk again, then he kills people. Like there is no suspense, no like it's very like very one dimensional. The way he killed people was out of frustration, and it's not like the guy who could not control himself, and it's like we are sinking into like a deep philosophical and psychological thing. No, he's just like, yeah, this
But
is what I do.
he was still targeting a certain particular type of, like his victims
Yeah,
were quite similar, right?
that's true. That's
From
what
what I
people-
understand, because I
Yes.
didn't watch the show.
So he was gay, and he targeted, of course, the gay community mostly,
Mhm.
I think, and also the minorities. And some people analyze this as him targeting only like African American communities,
Mm.
and so that created a little bit of a problem. I think, you know, one of the things that was interesting is the neighbor. He had a neighbor. He was in an apartment building, and he had a neighbor who was like this black woman who was hearing some weird noises
Mhm.
and screams. And I love how you play with your hair, very sexy.
Just a really-
Instead of playing with your beard, just like, oh, hey, oh, that's nice too. So, and this woman has been hearing like noises
Mhm.
and also screams, etc., like at strange hours, like very, very late at night, and also smells, like because he was like eating people, so it was like blood everywhere. Like he tried to clean, he was not the cleanest guy. He was not like a Dexter where like it's like surgical, like
Yeah.
this kind of thing I can get behind. Like it's pretty cool to watch. It's a thriller, etc. But this
Where
guy
you
is like,
get in, but in this TV show, don't you get behind like in the mind of Damer? Like
that's not what I got from
You
it.
told me he's a homosexual, right?
Yes.
But he targeted homosexuals. Was it just because it was easier, or did he actually was it homophobic?
Well, not
act,
really.
even
He
though
was-
homosexual.
I mean, some people could analyze it and say he was trying to suppress like some kind
Part
of
of,
like the
him.
homosexual part in him,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
Which at that time it was probably more complicated than now. Even now, it's
Was he religious, for instance?
he was not really religious. He was targeting homosexual because he loved them. He wanted to have sex with them, and then he wanted that memory to stay forever. So he said how he would eat their heart. So this memory would, I mean, some kind of creepy thing. Anyways,
Oh my god.
so the thing is with his neighbor who heard noise
Mm-hmm.
constantly, called the police repeatedly, and nobody believed her. They're like, ah, ma'am, there's nothing we can do. He's just. And when one of his victims came into the house, and this young African American man, like very sexy, they fell in love and they were like, oh, dancing, doing some sexy things. And then as soon as he enters the apartment, he smelled like a very, very, very bad smell. And he said, what the hell is this? And he said, oh, no. It's just, I have old meat. I have meat in the freezer and my freezer broke. So I'm trying to but the smell will go away. And the apartment is very creepy, like it's not very well lit, etc. So it's bad. And then so this is the first red flag. Like, man, listen, this does not look good. Like, let me just find an excuse and say, hey, you know what? Like, trust your guts. When it doesn't feel right, just leave.
It
Anyways,
doesn't smell right.
it doesn't smell right at all.
Literally.
So, anyways, absolutely. So, second thing, he's of course drugging them. So he puts like a beer, and he puts it in a glass, and he says, "Oh yeah, just sit down and get comfortable." He gets like he spikes his drink,
Mm-hmm.
and then he makes like a foam on the beer, and he said, and the guy took the glass and he said, "Oh, drink up," and he put some music, whatever. He took the glass and he saw the foam, and he told him, he said, "Why is this glass like all like it looks weird, like it smells weird?" "Oh yeah, it's probably the glass. I didn't wash the glass correctly. There's still some soap in it. So drink up." Dude, like, what else do you need to get the fuck out of there? Like, like it smells like a dead people, dead bodies inside. He spikes your drink, and you could see it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, man, I don't feel comfortable. So spoiler alert, I will say what happens to this particular guy, but you can still watch it. It's still bad. But anyways, so so the guy then he goes, "Yeah, let's go to you." So he feels like a little bit oppressed. And Dahmer is not a particularly strong guy, but he's kind of tall and kind of fit. And the other guy is super fit, but a little bit shorter. In a fight for your life, I don't know who would win. But anyway, so he decided to, you know, where sometimes he like oppresses you with words and you feel like you cannot leave because you don't want to.
Yeah.
So he takes him to his bedroom. He says, come to my bedroom, etc. In the bedroom, on the bed, there is like a pool of blood. And he lays down and he says, "What the fuck is this, dude? Like, what else do you fucking need to jump and then get the fuck out of there? Like, oh, what the hell is this? Hey, dum dum, what do you think? Like, get a clue, man. Read the room, motherfucker. What else do you need? Like, really? Like, I would go to a friend's house. He would smell like ass. I would say, hey, listen, man. Hey, listen, I'm sorry. Just forgot. I gotta go. I would never see him or his apartment
that's
ever
crazy.
again. Like, so, and then he lays back. He lays down, and then the guy is on him. And you feel like he wants to leave, but the guy is holding him back. And he locked the door, of course. So now should he he should find the perfect momentum and just like smash him with something and then bounce, which he ended up doing because the guy leaned on him. Final clue, and he said, "Oh, I love to listen to your heart. I'm gonna eat it later." And they said, "Aye, that's it. That does it." Oh, really? Like, dude. So. I'm not gonna say what happened. Well, maybe I will. All right. So he went. He made a run for it. He pushed him. He hit him with something. He made a run for it, and he opened the door and he started running. Help! 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 He goes outside half naked. Help! 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 The police stops. He gets on his knees. The police says, "All right, let's see what happens." Goes back to the apartment with the guy. And he says, "Yes, this is the motherfucker. He's trying to kill me, etc., etc." They go inside the apartment, and he's very slick. He said, "No, officer, I don't want to open my apartment. I mean, we were just having, we are gays." And at that time, it's like people don't want to touch it, don't want to talk about it. So he tries to push them back by saying, "Okay, we are gays. Have your fun. Make fun of me, but I'm giving you something so you don't see the other, the hidden part of the iceberg, the emerged parts of the iceberg." So, hey, okay, I'm an iceberg, sorry. So, came in, they almost didn't catch it. Same thing, they said, "What the fuck is this smell?" "Oh, it's just rotten meat. I had some meat and my freezer broke." Then they almost left, and then they said, No, hold on. Let's search the whole apartment. They searched, they found bodies and skulls, etc., etc. And that's how he got cut. That's a pretty crazy story, man. Like, when you go to visit somebody and it feels creepy, I'm sorry,
There's
just
a
get
lot
the
of
fuck out.
the fact of
How desperate are you for a dick, man? Just leave.
exactly.
Leave.
Well, this part I never understand in general. Like all those people that have, I'm guessing that you need to be in a certain mental state, or like how can someone actually like bully you into staying in a situation that is clearly? I'm not saying I'm not feeling comfortable, but
Yeah.
when you have like clear signs, one after the other, and I don't know. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, but also like he plays on politeness of people. Like, I don't wanna come off as rude. I don't wanna. Yeah, he's awkward, but I don't wanna make him mad. I don't wanna. Dude, like, I'm sorry. I understand. But listen, you see something is like. Let me go back to one example. You see, if I give you a Coca-Cola or like in these very nice mugs, by the way, they are not on sale, but if you but anyways, if I give you a Coca-Cola and there is like this much of foam, you would be like, dude, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna drink it. I say, oh, don't worry, I just didn't rinse them well. But still, man, I'm not gonna drink them.
Yeah,
like, give me straight from the bottle. Then I'm not gonna drink a beer that. Clearly, there's something fishy. There's drink up. And he said, look, I'm drinking mine. Well, of course, yours is not spiked.
that doesn't raise
like
the alarms.
literally, it's almost like, listen, like it's very, very creepy thing. His dad was very upset because he said that he, in the story, the dad and the mom were separated. The mom was a little bit like addicted to alcohol, drugs, and shit, and a broken. But he lived with her, and then he lived alone for most of his life, and he was creepy all the way through. But his dad was always trying to be a good dad, and it's like, anyways, the dad said he does not like the fact that They are showing him as they are glorifying his son and his bad behavior, and it's also bad press for his son. His son who died in jail. I don't know if you're aware of that story. He got killed in jail. Um, because I heard that he was very provoking in jail, like saying, like for example, he put like he took like a chicken leg or chicken drumstick, whatever they call them, and he says, "Oh, it looks like a thumb. I'm gonna eat it later." And he put ketchup in it, and like he was trying to be very creepy.
Yeah.
But dude, this is not the outside world. Somebody just like shanked his ass, and then he's gone.
But he had 0 victims in jail, right?
No, well, in jail he was the victim, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
In jail, like you'll always find somebody else who's even creepier than you. But anyway, so he died in jail. I'm not really sure about the details, but somebody ended up killing him in jail. Listen, I don't know why serial killers and people on death row, people who committed crazy murders, they have like fans. People write them letters. Girls want to marry them. What is this adoration? What is this admiration with serial killers and
Man,
death row
it's,
inmates, etc.?
it's just it's simple madness, you know. I don't know if you remember, Chris Rock had a nice little skit on where he was saying, "Whatever happened to crazy?" You know, people can't be crazy no more. People are batshit crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that shocked me in this whole Dahmer story is that even his old clothes, items, the glasses, everything is
it's
going
glorified.
into auctions like for tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds or millions. Like I get that I followed other serial killers stories like Charles Manson and a few others, and usually they have some kind of like cult around them, and they have a very likable side to them, and they know how to manipulate people and the way they talk.
Yeah,
and the way
this guy was not it.
But this is very like he didn't live with people. He didn't have
friends.
any grasp
Didn't have
on them.
No. He was socially very awkward and
Yeah.
isolated for sure.
And that's what's shocking is that for someone just being crazy, I think maybe a part of the admiration comes from the anti-system approach.
True. Like fuck the system, everybody will. Yeah.
But on this side, I don't get it, because even the logic behind, like the psychology behind it. Once again, I'm just talking from the points that I have because I didn't do my homework. But yeah, basically, I don't know if you remember the Unabomber.
Yeah.
You know, Unabomber, the guy that was so against the system, started sending bombs to universities and everything. And they did a show on Netflix as well.
Yeah.
And during that show, basically the show is basically a psychologist or a psychiatrist coming into jail and interviewing him, and what was weirdly good, I guess, of that show is that it wanted to show you like the logic that took him to a certain point, made a certain
it made sense somehow,
you know, like
somehow.
That's interesting to see that, you know, like there's a fine line between like taking things a bit too far. Even if you take facts, like individual facts, on a lot of levels, you might actually be on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
that's interesting. But for this guy who's just like dating men and killing them and eating them and to have that kind of adoration around it and stuff, that I don't get.
I don't get it. Honestly, he didn't have a huge following or any following at all, for that matter. Very socially awkward. He was like a loner. But just like also it showed some like his victims. I feel a little bit strange to say this, but I feel like some of his victims, if they were a little bit smarter, could have avoided it. like one of his victims. But again, at that time, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm not sure because at that time, like hitchhiking was very normal, and he picked up a hitchhiker.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
But here is the thing: he picked up a hitchhiker, which today is obviously very rare and obviously dangerous. But still, some people do it. But anyways, he picks up this guy and says, "Oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to this concert. It's a super nice band. It's playing in a city like a like a couple hours away from here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I can take you. Sure, jump in. Okay. But before we do, I would love to stop by my house." First red flag, man. Okay. You know what we can do? Oh, when is it? Oh, it's tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Or it's later today. It's at the end of the day. So it's early in the morning or whatever in the morning. So we
Yeah.
still have like 5-6 hours. So if we go there now, I know you're joining your friends, but if we go, we're going to be early. It's not. You know what? Let's stop by my house. Let's work out and drink beers.
All right.
It's a strange combo, but anyways, like, listen, you jump inside somebody you don't know,
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
He's supposed to drive you there, then change of plan. You're gonna go work out and drink beers. I mean, okay, so Dammers thought, okay, he was like a homosexual as well, so he got the hint. Okay, let's go, fuck around literally, and then we can go to the concert. So they were like working out, and the guy was like, "Yeah, dude!" Like they were all like shirtless, and they were like, "Yeah." And the guy is like, who was hitchhiked, "Yeah, good to Dammer. Yeah, dude, you look fine. Oh my God, look at those muscles. You look good, etc." So Dammer got the wrong message. He said, he leaned for a kiss.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, what are you doing, dude? Like, I'm not gay." But I thought, no, man, I'm not gay. What the fuck? You know what? I told you we're already late. I'm leaving. And then as soon as he turned around, he hit him with a dumbbell, boom, and then whatever. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Listen, it's, you have to be a little bit suspicious, and especially with people you don't know. Even with people you kind of know,
Yeah.
for example, most rape victims are from somebody you meet and you kind of know.
That is familiar. Yeah.
So you have to be careful. But anyways, just common sense, man.
Yeah.
I know at that time, like hitchhiking was normal, but I'm gonna stop by. We're gonna work out and drink and like what?
Well, often they go after like I would say like easy victims, not easy victims, but like when you hear about stories that go a bit sideways, it's always girls that have been drinking before, or like somehow people that are vulnerable at a certain time, and
True.
I don't know, man. This whole Damer story.
Like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but there is a serial killer. I heard that's actually pretty good. But again, it goes back to you are a little bit, you don't want to offend the other person. You don't want to say, "Hey dude, like I'm leaving." All right, we'll drink one more beer. All right. So there was like a serial I think serial killer or kidnapper or whatever, who actually was operating with his wife. She was actually helping him. And sometimes he put pictures of his wife and his wife who is pregnant, like on the dash. And he would say, "Excuse me, can you help me put my groceries in my trunk?" And in reality, you are going into the trunk too. So, and then you see the picture and then you feel like, he's an old man. I mean, I don't want to be rude. And sometimes if your gut says, "Yeah, that doesn't look good. I'm sorry, it doesn't look good."
But those are very usually they're highly intelligent individuals that know how to manipulate, know how to show a certain image, and to come back to what you were saying about Damer, the only difference why I don't really get this admiration that people get is that there's no real ideology or anything behind it.
He's not particularly smart. He's not a genius in his art.
I guess people nowadays just like to follow stupid stuff.
True.
I guess.
And honestly, like you mentioned the other day, the Netflix is really good at promoting shit. Their
Yes.
marketing team is really good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
They are really good. Honestly, to be honest, the show I didn't think it was much. I thought it was okay. It was some kind of dark shit I would watch maybe or not, like, but nothing really crazy. He was not like, we didn't get into like into inside the mind of a genius and twisted guy. Like, we just, it was
Yeah.
like very one dimensional for me. I didn't see where the whole fuss was about. It was okay, but it was not great. But you know, like, serial killers are out there, and you know, there is a French guy who I forgot his name, but anyways, Jacques Le Couteau.
Jacques Cousteau.
So he was supposedly, he was saying that he was like a specialist in serial killers, and he had like radio shows. He had like a dozen books, and they were all bestsellers. And he said that he was a consultant for the FBI, and he was like collecting, like he said that. There is a show with the mind of a serial killer or something. Like, there was a popular show about serial killers, etc. And he said that he was consulting there. That one of the characters that was portrayed, it was actually him. He was actually interviewing serial killers, and almost like working as a consultant. Not almost. He was pretending to work as a consultant, and I said pretending because he ended up being just a liar, serial liar. And the FBI said, we never have a consultant from France, never. And like, what would be his qualifications? Like, he's not a cop, he's not investigation, he doesn't work in this field at all. He's just a journalist, maybe somebody who writes books.
And he said he was like some kind of profiler.
He said he was like the biggest profiler, and he was invited all the time. He has radio shows, TV shows. He was consulted all the time.
I see the guy that you're referring to.
Yeah, he's like bald guy. I'll find his name. I'll put it up there.
Yeah.
But
he's not. I think he's Canadian, no? Like a French
I think he's French, maybe French Canadian, but I think French. But anyways, so and he was also collecting memorabilia and selling it. And people were like, well, you are glorifying them. Well, no, these are part of our history, and we should keep a trace of our history, etc., etc. I don't know. I don't see the fascination with serial killers.
Serial killer.
I don't see that. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of anybody so much that I would keep like their, you know, if they, I don't know, if Federer, like I like tennis, if Federer like writes signs up a ball and people like fight on the seats like to try to catch it. If it comes my way, I'll catch it. But
yeah, but
I'm not a
if you
diehard
have
fan.
it, you know that it has a high value. You'll start.
Yeah, baseball. You know, people catch like the pitcher's ball because they can sell it for a few $1,000s. But like I love when people are really good at their art.
Yes,
as long as they don't hurt people, of course. But if they are really, really good, and I don't call them geniuses. I think genius is a term that we use very, very loosely. Everybody's a genius. Yeah. Oh, you need to meet my friend. He drew this. He's a genius. Well, let's relax. My son is a genius. He uses an iPad. Well, let's relax. I mean, the genius is the guy who created it, not the guy who's using it. So even then, it's a little bit all subjective. So we had. There is also a really interesting show in Morocco that speaks about crimes. I follow it, and I'm surprised that some of my friends also follow it. It's a guy who has a YouTube channel.
All right.
He was a policeman working on the crime division, and. And his name is Al-Kharraz.
Say that again.
Al-Kharraz.
Al-Kharraz.
And man, this guy.
Like, is it the history?
It's not history. He just has like the case number and the case file, and he reads from the case file and he tells the story as he remembers it.
Oh,
and he
so it's like
almost like Pierre Bellemare in France.
Yeah, okay,
Pierre
okay.
Bellemare, but Pierre Bellemare, of course, for people who don't know him, he's like amazing guy. He died unfortunately a couple of years ago, but he is an amazing storyteller, and he tells stories. It's not
hot in
easy to
here.
have hair, right? Then that sucks to have that much hair.
Yeah.
I'm so hot right now, and now you know what I mean. But he starts telling these stories. He has actually he started with the channel in Chouf TV or something like crappy, like it's junk TV, online TV in Morocco, like just trashy thing. And now he has so many followers. Like regularly, his videos reach 1 million views. And every twice a week, he tells stories, and people have a fascination with crimes, and it's always interesting. He tries to make it like, let's learn from this crime. Don't trust these guys. Don't do this. Don't do that. If somebody on the streets asks you, like, hey, you have to be careful. Lock your doors. Lock this. Lock that. Like, he doesn't really scare us, but he tells us, money. If money comes between friends, it could be dangerous. Blah 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 blah. So, crimes has always been
It's
something.
intriguing because it shows you
The worst in
limits-
people. Yeah.
limits to which, like anything that tests the limits of the norm of human behavior in general is intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
No,
like,
definitely. But I think it's prisons are something very like you would feel like it's a deterrent. People would like be so afraid to go to prison that they would really behave. But it doesn't really stop crimes. I think for some people they say like prison is like where they learn like they become professionals.
It stops it for a vast majority. Like I know myself, like I don't do some stuff because I don't want to get into trouble, whether
Sure.
it is prison or not prison. But there are, like, we're talking about a certain particular,
Categories of people.
category of people that
Yeah.
have that don't have the normal, like they're psychos. Let's call it that way. So there's not much you can do to people to stop them when, especially like people that feel they have nothing to lose. What are you going to tell
That's
them?
true.
Oh, you're not going to get your freedom.
That's true.
If they
I
don't
mean,
feel free
Yeah,
already.
life outside is not that great to start with.
Exactly,
So it's
so-
like, yeah, whatever.
Like especially in countries where I know we hear a lot, and I'm gonna put gloves here.
Go ahead. That's the day to do that, actually.
All right.
Perfect day.
A lot of people talk about prisons. I know situations in prisons and everything is really bad, but in a lot of developed countries, prison isn't that bad compared to what's going on.
Let me tell you, in
outside.
Switzerland, for example, prison
For
is
instance-
actually great.
Yeah, so when winter comes, a lot of people
Homeless.
homeless people that are on the street just go and break a window from a shop or something, and they'll be like, I'm gonna spend the winter
In
eating
pretty
some
cool conditions. Yeah.
some good food, and even like prison in Morocco scares the shit out of me.
Big time. Big time.
Bro, I saw just the wall once just the wall, man.
Dude.
From the outside. I'm
The-
not
I'll
doing shit
I'll
about
tell
it.
you a story. One day, one of my cousins
Mhm.
who's working in like construction and roads and etc. He had to build he was working on a project, and part of his job was to build a prison. And he said, hey, do you want to come with me? We'll swing by. I need to talk to the architect with something, and then we can go grab a coffee or something. I said, yeah, sure. Dude, it's very creepy. Like the prison with nobody in it.
Yeah.
It's a brand new prison. And I said, dude, I was creeped out. Like the cells and everything was clean. Everything was, but because of course nobody lived in it.
Yeah.
But a cell that's supposed to have like 2 or 3 people will have like 19 people laying on the ground, and then you have like I heard some stories that prisons are fucked up. I think In South America, it's even
Yeah.
worse. It's even worse.
Well, there is a TV series, Netflix again, they're everywhere, that has this show called The Dangerous,
Locked
the top, I think it's top 7 most dangerous prisons in
Yeah.
the world or something like that. And
It's
for a lot of them, it's
South
like
America.
their own kingdom. Like
Yeah.
they tell them you just can't come out of this
perimeter.
perimeter,
Mhm.
but it's you do the law inside.
Of course,
So
the
they're in freedom.
absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
that's
If you are
crazy.
working as an officer there, like you don't really know who's in prison, who's not, because you spend most of your time there, so you spend most of the time in prison as well.
Yeah.
Like your conditions inside are not that much better than people behind the bars. Literally,
Yeah.
like who is behind bars, who is on the other side. Like it's very subjective. I think those
You're
prisons are like
confronted
fucked
to
up.
that every day, and it's not, and you didn't do anything to deserve it. It's just a job, but you're confronted to
Of course.
the worst,
The
shit
worst
every
people.
day,
The worst people. And you know what's even worse?
What?
It's when people are foreigners and they work as mules, or they try to grab some
Yeah.
cocaine, and they promise them like 4,000 or 5,000 euros, which is ridiculous if you think about the consequences if you fall for it. And like some kind of nice Norwegian who ends up in like a prison in fucking Brazil or like Salvador, or like he's
Yeah.
like, dude, like you are a million years away from this life, from this country. It's a third world country. It's very poor, and then you go to the worst place in the worst country, coming from like Norway or Denmark, and it's like, dude, the shock must be like crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. It's like hell, and but they survive. They survive, and they call the consulate. There, get me out of here, dude. You fucked up. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
what to say.
there's a lot of political game behind
For sure.
those particular cases, but for sure, it breaks you.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that was the design from before. Was like the intent was to break people, and I'm guessing as the world changed, a lot of things need to change there as well.
For sure, for sure. So we will.
But that's a topic for another day.
That's a topic for another day in paradise. There you go. All right, I don't think we can find a better ending than this. Don't forget to follow, subscribe. Honestly, we are getting bigger and bigger, so we really want to thank you. We have asked the Halloween costume thing,
Yeah,
but still we did it.
follow, like, and subscribe.
Follow, like, subscribe,
nonetheless.
and we will see you next time. Peace
All
out.
right, thank you guys.